Hey friends, on today's episode, I'm going to take you inside an artisan studio in San Miguel, Mexico. Stay tuned. We are going to visit the studio of Denisha, and this is Dan and Nisha, and their company is called Denisha, and they do all kinds of sculpture, ceramics, the neatest things you're ever going to see, and in fact it even involves doing doll houses too. So here we go. I know you're going to love this one. Dan and Nisha have a 3,000 square foot studio where they create all kinds of super cool things. Let me show you.
Okay, so I glaze all the ceramics that we make, and so I draw in greenware, and then I'm like right now I'm doing these teacups.
Oh my gosh, those are beautiful.
So I'm busy putting on the third coat.
So this is the greenware, the bowl, and when it's wet, Nisha takes a pin tool and she scratches the drawing directly into the pin tool.
Into the clay.
See the scratched lines?
Yes.
She scratches directly into the wet clay. This is drying now. It's going to be bone dry soon and ready to fire. Once it's fired, then they start putting on the underglazing. And so here is several layers. It's not finished, right, Nish?
No,
Wow.
it has 3 layers on it now.
Do you have any of these that are finished?
Underglaze, it's not shiny, it's just like that. But you have to fire it to get it to stick onto the clay. So I paint a layer, and then we fire it, and then I paint another layer, and then we fire it, and then I paint another layer, and then we fire it, and then we spray it with the clear glaze, and then it's shiny.
4 layers?
4 layers.
Wow. And so your husband does the sculptures and you do the painting of the bowls.
Here, we'll go over here and he'll explain all his process because it's also really
Okay.
cool.
Wow, these are just amazing.
These I have to do the original models, and I do them in plastilina. And I heat up the plastilina to make it malleable because it's very hard. And I do small things and large things. I've been doing a whole series of half-life size bronze jazz figures. But I make the original model.
Show the chicken.
Here we can see the chicken. And from these we make the molds because we slip cast everything in ceramic. And this is the original sculpture. This is not finished. When this is finished and it's in ceramic, we're going to be covering it in flowers and little critters, and I'm going to show you those finished ones in ceramic. So this is in process. So this will go to my mold maker, and then he'll make plaster piece molds, of which I will show you down there what they are. And like I said, we do bronze as well. And this is a Ella Fitzgerald. This was the maquette, like the rough sketch, and I did Ella Fitzgerald half-life size. And you make a rubber mold to do bronze, and that goes to the foundry in Mexico City.
There's
Yeah.
Gillespie and...
So I'm constantly making lots of little molds, and here's some examples. There's our sheet from our...
And do you make the molds so that you can reproduce?
Yeah, so these are limited editions of 44, and so we can cast that 44 times.
So all these little components go on these teacups.
That's right.
And this is more the finished product.
And
How
so
do you adhere the bird to something like that?
glue,
Oh.
epoxy. Yeah, so here's our assistant Laura. And
Okay.
so Nisha does the drawing, then Laura does the first, second, and third coats under Nisha's supervision. She's been working for us for 20 years.
Awesome.
And then Nisha does the fourth and final coat on the bowls. And so Laura is responsible for painting all of this stuff.
all of this.
Frame with the glaze colors.
Okay.
So here's the kilns. Where everything gets fired.
Yeah. Oh, do you see these, Judy?
I didn't have one for a really long time. Then I started making them, and I'll show you my dollhouse room. But I'm making this one right now for a friend's daughter. It's a French chateau, and it's made out of a cardboard box.
Wow. And do you just cover it with clay or?
I covered it with plaster
Okay.
and then mixed with white glue. And then I painted it. And then this is actually just like, this is this. The shingles are this. It's mat board.
Oh.
Cut out, glued on, painted. And then I make ceramic, you know, all this business, all this chateau business. And then I'm learning to solder. And you can see it's not, you know, it's not going perfectly, but it's going perfectly enough.
Yeah.
So this little, here, I'll take this down. Whoops, that's just sitting in there. So this is going to be a widow's walk up here. This is the floor. And then,
Oh my gosh. Every little detail. And so she'll just be able to use this to play with her dolls.
yeah.
Wasn't that the coolest art studio? Oh my gosh, I was totally blown away. I found out about Nisha through her sister because she's actually in my DIY upholstery course. And she reached out to me when she heard I was going to San Miguel and said, oh, you've got to meet my sister who lives there. And so I reached out to her on Instagram and they made time for us to come by and spend an afternoon with them. And we had such a blast. I hope you enjoyed this episode, friends. Leave a comment below and let me know what you loved most about visiting this art studio. And as always, if you like this episode, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'll see you next week, friends. Bye-bye.